Welcome to the Stanton Chase LA podcast, where executive workplace issues meet real life. I'm Dr. Nancy Jernigan. I'm an executive search consultant with Stanton Chase Los Angeles, and I'm discussing workplace issues as well as real life issues with our Stanton Chase LA team. And today we are chatting with Dr. Jeff Jernigan. So welcome, Jeff.
Thanks. It's great to see you.
Great to see you as well. So let's just jump into a few questions to get to know you better. So question number one, workplace related. What do you are seeing as one of the most relevant leadership issues challenging healthcare C-suite executives today?
Well, there's four that come to mind that actually go well beyond life science and healthcare, the practice I'm responsible for at Stanton Chase, and really affect all industries. The first is leadership burnout. And this is due to more than just the ongoing uncertainty everyone has to live with in the workplace. It involves a number of disruptors, which I'll unpack in a moment when we get to what the future looks like. But burnout of leadership is one of the more relevant themes that we're addressing in the workplace globally. Secondly, new technologies that affect the workflow across all industries, because we have to learn how to do things differently in light of the restrictions of the pandemic and a number of these other disruptors. Social unrest is a third issue. Employers now are rethinking issues of workplace relationships in light of what has been brought to our attention throughout 2021 regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace and what that really means. A third concern is mental unrest in the workplace, mental wellness, and the adaptations that the workforce is making, that the workplace needs to make for people to feel comfortable coming back to work. And that creates an interesting demand on leadership: burnout, new technologies in care delivery and workflow, social unrest, mental wellness issues. It's forcing all of us to be more agile, more focused, and more sustainable in the things that we do. Basically, it's requiring all of us to retool our leadership style into something resembling emotional intelligence. Now, I know a lot of leaders, when they hear that word emotional, click off, but this doesn't have to do with your feelings. This has to be with being a real person, being authentic, being genuine, and transparent and vulnerable in a way that allows others to put their trust in you during uncertain times.
Great. Well, I understand you do work in other industries besides healthcare, but we talked about healthcare and life sciences. What do you think that industry will look like in 5 years from now? Or feel free to address any other industry. What will look like in 5 years from now?
What's happening in healthcare is just a reflection of what is happening everywhere around the world.
Right.
First of all, we're all dealing with the same disruptions. The supply chain is in disarray. That changes how we get work done, how we do our work. It's forcing us to change our organizational design to be more flexible and more adaptable to hiccups. It's like driving home on the freeway and that caterpillar thing you get into, and you have to manage that in your work life and in your organizational structure as well. Then there's the ongoing response to the pandemic. We all thought this would be over, but we didn't realize that flus come back around every single year. And there's going to be this opening of things and shutting of things unpredictably around the world for another 3 to 5 years. Then there is the growth of the virtual workplace, and the employees that don't want to come back to work in the workplace, though their employer wants them to, because they're waiting to see, what are you going to do for me that's different, that will protect me, that will protect the workforce, that will make the workplace a safer place. We have others that have jumped on board the great resignation. 20% of our workforce, a little more than that, have left for other careers and left for other jobs. And that creates a lot of vacancies. What are employers going to do to respond to that? All of these changes create changes in regulatory compliance issues, how we govern the relationship, the contract between employer and employee, is forcing changes in the Social Security Administration, in Medicare, in OSHA, in the EEOC, in HIPAA, in all of those organizations that help guide us from a governmental or regulatory compliance issue. Those changes are going to continue to be a disruptor in what we do. And then finally, workflows, how we get things done, whether it's in the office, in the factory, or in your home. All of these disruptors are going to continue to force adaptation on us for a few years yet before we discover what a new normal looks like.
Yeah. Wow. That all is such good practical things we're dealing with as executive search consultants. We know people are dealing with all these issues in the workplace, no matter their industry. And so thanks. That was very helpful. You always seem to impress me, and I love our conversations. So in addition to that, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Maybe other industries you've worked with, or things you love to do out and about when you're not working. Tell us more about yourself.
Okay. Thank you. I love what I do for Stanton Chase in terms of leadership development and executive search. It allows me to participate in the process of developing and placing difference makers in places where they'll make a difference in the quality of life and work for other people on a much larger scale, nationally and internationally. The other thing I like about life science and healthcare is it bleeds into every other industry and allows me to make use of my career as an engineer, as a clinical psychologist, as a healthcare executive, as an administrator and a professor in higher education. All of those things have in common scratching my itch to be more concerned and involved with people than about and with things. For fun, anything outdoors, hiking, rock climbing, trout fishing, flying.
What do you fly? Did you used to fly planes?
I used to fly jets for the military. And then after that, for a period of time, I owned an aircraft until things got too expensive and I got too busy. But I still like all things that go fast. I just cannot afford to own things that go fast.
Got it. I think it's all that adventurous in you that I love watching as well and enjoy working with and having fun, whether we're rock climbing together or any other adventure that we may pursue. So thanks for joining us today, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome. We look forward to talking to others on the team as well. And so hope you'll stay tuned to other Stanton Chase LA podcasts.